Shorty really bad. Words of a faint, something like a bad. Well, I want your love, call me when you can. Girl, going up, going up.
Alright, so we get into our first game here against Or Prepare to Fight. He was in our Go Stadium lobby last season. And we're running the triple water, and we're starting with Suicune. And I didn't really practice too much with Suicune, but from what I understood, just from what I did practice, was that I really wanted it up front, and I wanted to throw down a Bubble Beam and then try to go into a safe swap. And usually water is a safe swap, so I switched into either Vaporeon or Bibarel. And we took out this Weevil. Now, interesting enough, I actually really love the moveset of Weevil there. He's got Close Combat, which, if you don't see coming, can really hurt the Umbreon. I'm not too sure if it one-shots the Umbreon or not, but yeah, if you don't know the moveset of some of these off-meta Pokemon, they can really get you, just like that Kangaskhan Kangami, right? Anyways, so we go into the matchup against the Ninetales with Bibarel, or not Ninetales, we get into the Nidoqueen matchup with Bibarel, and all we need to do is land one of these Surfs and it'll one-shot the Nidoqueen, but we're super low, and we're gonna get taken out here. So this doesn't look too good for us with Suicune in the back. Even though he is a water type, the Bubble Beam actually doesn't do too much damage, and I hadn't put a second move on this Suicune yet. Just because I didn't know if I was actually going to use this or not in any of my cups. Now, I actually did end up putting a second move on it. I think I ended up getting Water Pulse, which is not great. And I didn't have the Charge TMs, or I didn't want to use the Charge TMs on Suicune anyways. I wasn't really feeling too much goodness there. Although we were really close to this fight here, actually. It looks like we were one Snarl or that charge attack off from winning that match. So we decided to just keep it exactly the same. I was just testing specifically 3 water pretty much here, and I really didn't want to bring in the 3 dark actually, but the 3 dark are really good. The problem is that he's got 2 charm users on his team, so that's scary. So we throw in the Bubble Beam here. I believe that was our second Bubble Beam, and then we swap in to eat the Aqua Tail. Oh, it's a last resort. Nice. And then he brings in the Lanoon. We know Lanoon is going to have Grass Knots, so he's just going to try to get to the Grass Knot to take out our Vaporeon, and he's just eating up these Aqua Tails. And I do end up using a shield here because I thought that I could get it pretty close with this Aqua Tail. Obviously, he's got 2 shields left, and he's going to use one here. But he's also super low on health. I wouldn't be surprised if I used another shield here. No, but he'd just go down there. But I might bring in Bibarel, yeah. So I'll probably fast attack it down. And then if he brings back in Vaporeon, I might swap out. Oh, I might swap out either way. So he's got double water left. And I think this looks pretty good for us. We've already got 1 Bubble Beam on the Vaporeon. Now we got a Bubble Beam on this Bibarel. As long as he doesn't get a Hyper Fang off, these Surfs are going to be reduced damage and not very effective. And he swaps out so that this Bubble Beam hits this Vaporeon. That's the second one of Vaporeon. So Vaporeon's obviously going to be looking for the last resort here. But we're actually going to get a 3rd debuff onto him. So I have a feeling I shield here, but if I were to do it right now, I definitely wouldn't shield. Oh, awesome. And he used a not very effective move. We get 1 extra hit in with a Snarl, so that we have some energy going into the Bibarel matchup. And then I swap into Bibarel here because, you know, this Vaporeon's already so weak. I'm just going to farm it down and then get to his Bibarel. I probably should shield this just in case it's Hyper Fang, and it is, and we do. And then, oh, he's got a shield left. I was like, why didn't I go for Hyper Fang? Yeah, because we still want to eat up that shield. Now, we can definitely get to this Hyper Fang before him since we had the few extra hits on the Vaporeon to give us an energy advantage. And then this Vaporeon, yeah, it's already super low. Even if it gets an Aqua Tail off, it's not going to do anything. I'm pretty sure even if it got our last resort off there, it wouldn't actually do anything. So we get a win there. It might be the only win that we actually did get. We start with B-Barrel. This, as I'm looking at it now, these games pretty close to the beginning of the season. But if I were to do it now, I definitely would have led with Suicune, gotten to the one bubble beam, and then judge everything based on that afterwards. So probably stay in, go for 2 bubble beams, shield a grass knot, and then swap out into Vaporeon, try to get to the last resort, or go for the Aqua Tail. That's what I would do now. That's not what we did do though. But we did eat up both shields from him. He took both shields of ours, obviously. And he brings in the Weavile, and we're just going Bubble Beams. That's the only move we have. So we're going to try to reduce its damage. It's obviously a very big threat on his team. Not as big as Lanoon, but it's okay because that Lanoon's super low in the back. Hopefully it doesn't threaten us too much there. So if I did have Hydro Pump at this point, it would be really good, right? You know, in a zero shield scenario, my Suicune was at full health. I would have been able to Hydro Pump this Weavile down probably in one shot, instead of going for any Bubble Beams at all, and we would have just been hit by the one close combat and survived. So yeah, second move's really needed when you're at the tournament, but yeah, we're not at the tournament now, so you know, we're just practicing to see if we like it. And 100,000 Stardust is no joke to invest in a second move for a legendary Pokemon, especially since we ended up not using it. So yeah, it's a tough call. So we're definitely going to get taken out here. I didn't see what the health was on this B-Barrel. Yeah, he's definitely going to take out a Vaporeon here with a Surf. And he takes game 3. So I believe that was the last game we played against him. We went 1 and 2. Oh, no, we played a third. Oh, it was probably best of 5. Okay, so we bring back the Suicune start, and I know this matchup a little better now. You do not win this matchup against Ninetales without the Hydro Pump, but it's okay. We just wanted to reduce the energy, and then we bring in our Vaporeon here, and we actually have Umbreon in the back, so we changed it up. We're not going triple water. We brought in one of the Darks. So we're definitely going to want to keep that Umbreon out of the Ninetales matchup, but he actually has the Lanoon in the back, so this is really bad for our Vaporeon here. I probably would just let it go. And then, oh, interesting. I bet I bring in Umbreon, but I probably should bring in Suicune. Yep. So, yeah, this is not going to be good because he's going to end up being able to bring in Ninetales. And I see we farm up a lot. Oh, we try to still keep farming him down. He ends up shielding them either way. Okay, if we have a swap here, we definitely need to swap into Suicune. We do. Okay, that's good. We use one of our shields. We do have a shield advantage here. We're up 2 shields to none, and we use one there, so we're up 1 shield to none now. And we're just going to be going for these Bubble Beams, trying to reduce its power. We actually get it down. Interesting. So we bring down the power of this Weavile as well. Ooh, I see some trouble in the back here, though. I think Lanoon is pretty close to a Grass Knot, if I remember the energy correct. And this Umbreon does not want to get close combated by this Weavile. This is a good decision, though, by me here. Ooh, but he used Avalanche. So I really wanted to get fainted there so that I can bring in Umbreon with an energy advantage, take out the Weavile, and then get into the Lanoon matchup. But yeah, you see, he actually used the Avalanche so that we wouldn't die and he could try to farm a little bit more. I think we're okay. Actually, we're definitely not. So Suicune's way too low in the back, and we'll get taken out by the Ice Shards of Weavile. Pretty sure. We don't have enough energy to ever get close enough to this. Oh, wow. So he was lower health than I thought. So we go into the final match here. I really didn't think we won a second one. Oh, another really, yeah, like I said, you'd want to be leading Suicune. I'm not the world's expert on Suicune by any measures, but from what I found out in practice is I really liked leading the Suicune. So having it test, sure, these are practices, so we're testing out in different positions, but you really don't want to bring it, I don't know, for me, I never wanted to bring it into any matchup, so you want to start with it. It's a safe lead, and then you have 2 safe swaps in the back with B-Barrel and Umbreon as well. Somewhat safe, right? So our Suicune, we brought in our Suicune and it got taken out. And so we both used one shield. I'm using a second shield here just because I don't want to get close combated, but the avalanches are just shield baiting me like crazy. So Weavile is a dark type. You're not going to be wanting to throw the foul play because it's going to be resisted. That's why we're going for the last resorts there. And then against Nidoqueen, you can definitely get to a few of these foul plays. You're going to need to hit 3 to take it out, or 2 if it already has a little bit of damage on it. And we swap into Bibarel, and then he does a really quick swap, really good swap by him. He has the shield advantage, and he comes in with Lanoon. All he needs to do is get to that Grass Knot, and he'll take us out here. Actually, we may survive this, but that's even worse for us because it means he'll farm down with the Shadow Claw. Oh my goodness, we actually get to the Surf, and he doesn't block it. Wow. He still does have that shield in the back, although this Earth Power probably takes us out. Yeah. So we were pretty far behind in that match. Like I said, probably lead Suicune. Oh wow, we did a ton of matches with him. Maybe it wasn't a best of 5. So, Suicune good start for us into Vaporeon, good start in general. Even if this last resort is fine, it's been bubble beamed once. And we're gonna go for a second one here, and then we probably will swap out into our own Vaporeon, if I were to guess. Looks like I had trouble swapping there. We went into Bibarel, interesting. If I were to do that now, I would definitely just go into Vaporeon and go for the mirror match with a double bubble beam down Vaporeon on his side. Ooh, we farm way too much here, which is going to force us to shield. So you're going to want to throw that charge move because it'll give you the... you won't have to have foresight in what's happening, right? You'll be the first to act, so then they'll shield or they won't, and you can base your decisions based on what that is, instead of holding back and then us shielding and then him knowing our decisions. So he's definitely trying to keep this this Weavile alive, and I swap out to eat the damage here, and he actually goes for an Avalanche. Interesting. So our Vaporeon's really close to a move here, which is good in a shields down scenario. Obviously, well, this is good going in Vaporeon mirror match. What's in the back though? What do I think's in the back? Might be like a Nidoqueen. Yeah, I'm not sure we were actually doing teams of 6 here. I'm not sure if we showed or not. It's been a long time. Yeah, but he has Lanoon in the back against our 3 waters, but to be fair, all we have to do is do damage over time against this Lanoon. It's going to go down eventually. Oh, maybe not. It is reduced, but Grass Knot's still going to be doing like 40%. Oh, we need to go for this Bubble Beam. Okay, we get him down. So sweet, 3-3. Not bad, not bad. But you will... I think I used Waters mainly instead of using any of the Darks. I was just really scared to use the Darks, actually. So, really interesting. I don't know. In practice, you shouldn't be that scared. You're going to lose matches regardless. But, yeah, even seeing one Alola Ninetales or any Charm user, which obviously is going to be on every team, was like really stopping me from using any of the Darks, even though I definitely could have used at least Skunk Tank, right? You know, it's a pretty safe swap, does beat A9 in the one shield. So he starts Shelgon. I actually really love Shelgon. It's really good as an anti-water. Yeah. I did have Shelgon on a lot of my teams before my big tournament, and I did take him out at the last minute and then swapped in with a Vaporeon. And who knows how much bench pressure that created, just our opponent seeing double water on the bench. But I really only brought Vaporeon into one matchup, I believe, maybe 2. Really didn't like it, but it's not because Vaporeon's not good, it was because I wasn't as practiced with it. Actually, these are the only games that these and the Pick'ems. No, these and the Wheel randomizer picking my team were the only practice games I had with Vaporeon. So maybe something like 20 games with Vaporeon. So I didn't feel, that may sound like a lot, but I really didn't feel comfortable using Vaporeon too much in the actual tournament. Whereas with all my other Pokemon, I probably had something like, I don't know, 100 games played or something like that over the month or something. Probably more than that, but 100 sounds like a lot, but I probably had a lot more than that. So he had a Suicune in the back as well. This is already not great for us. He's still got A9 in the back as well as a shield. So 3 liters is actually in our Ranger lobby right now. And I believe he actually won the... I believe he won our lobby's Ferocious Cup, so congrats to him on that. I also believe he went 6-1 in a 7-round tournament recently as well. I think that was Virginia? Not too sure. Maybe someone else knows. But yeah, he's obviously a really good player. Yeah, so we start this matchup in a bad matchup, Bibarel versus Umbreon. We swap out into Umbreon and he swaps into Ninetales, so really bad for us. He's just going to farm us down. We do get him kind of low, but, you know, at the cost of what? And you know what's actually interesting? This team that I'm using in this current matchup is actually one of the better teams that I used of 3 in the tournament, although I wasn't as practiced with Skuntank at this point. In fact, I believe this is the very first game that I ran Skuntank. I would have definitely swapped from Bibarel to Skuntank in if I was running it now. He's a much safer swap. You don't lose him automatically to the A9, although he definitely would have brought in Vaporeon and probably won that matchup anyways. So yeah, his team of 3 beats my team of 3, especially with the lead advantage. Obviously the lead advantage is pretty huge in this matchup, as most of the things in Ferocious Cup, I don't know, a lot of people said the lead didn't matter, but it did feel like the lead matters a lot, especially with all this, like, it's weird to say especially with all the safe swaps, but they don't necessarily have to safe swap if you're safe swapping, so you can still be at such a huge disadvantage. Obviously it's less so if there are safe swaps, but I mean, I think you know what I mean. I felt really bad whenever I lost the lead. Like, it really felt like I had not really much of a chance to come back. So we go Suicune versus Shelgon here, and yeah, we're just going to be trying to reduce those Dragon Breaths, and we're definitely going to swap out into Skuntank here, as Shelgon is good against the water types, that resists water damage. And he brings in his Vaporeon, which is okay. We have an energy advantage, so we're just going to be trying to get to the double crunch here. But I actually believe he farms us down, but we're definitely going to take a shield from him for the Pokemon here. And then I think we'll probably bring in Suicune if I were to guess. Ooh, we bring in Bibarel. So it looks like I want to shield and then farm down, but this may not be the best decision because he'll definitely just bring in the Shelgon. Ooh, and we definitely don't get there. Hopefully this is a last resort. Yeah, so not great. We're still trying to get the farm down. We'll probably throw the Surf into Shelgon if I'm going to guess. Oh, we actually swapped straight into Suicune. But this is really bad for us. Umbreon's going to be good against Bibarel and Suicune, and Shelgon's going to be good against both as well. So even though we're reducing the damage on a lot of these Pokemon, we're already so... He has such a lead from the teams of 3 here, just because ours are not that great. And his seem really good, and it's really hard for us to come back from that, especially since so much damage is happening to the Shelgon. We don't get to farm it down with Bibarel, even though it's already been hit by like 4 Bubble Beams. If we were to actually be able to get that Shelgon down there with the fast attacks, we would have been able to get to another Bubble Beam on Umbreon, which would have been the second Bubble Beam on Umbreon, and that would have definitely given us a really good chance. Maybe not really good, but it definitely would have given us a chance in comparison to what we had. Although now I see this match, we'd probably lose anyways, but you know, it would have been closer. So I just wanted to show you all this video. This was really early on in the month, probably a week and a half in, I would guess, yeah, 10 days in after the announcement, so still before November. But yeah, I just wanted to show you all this because, you know, when you're practicing, you're going to have to try a whole lot of different strategies to find what you what you are most comfortable with. And sometimes these can lead to you finding that a certain Pokemon is going to be better than you thought, or better than the Sims said, or I don't know. You're just going to want to try out a whole bunch of things, and maybe you don't stick with that team of 6, but you'll find maybe a diamond in the rough on there. So I'm going to leave y'all with that. Hopefully, if you liked this, go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. Also, tell me what your very early teams were like and what diamond in the rough you might have found. All right, thanks.